thank God I'm able to
Yes, when you can.
rectify it. So, straight to the point, please. Um, can anyone remind us our last topic, the last topic we had for this webinar, please? Anyone? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright, please, who can remind us?
So our last webinar was neuroscience in the contemporary world of science.
Alright, correct, thank you very much. So the one that we're having today, who can remind us the topic two of this one?
Hey, Emmanuel, don't you ain't still come out before.
Hello, please let's be fast.
I said building a career in life sciences. I said earlier.
Oh, review
Yes.
career licenses.
Okay, I'm just logging, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
We know they do. We know
Alright.
Yahoo like this. We don't say you don't bang
Okay.
us.
So let me quickly do
This one you all do.
introduction, brief
You
introduction.
take career license.
So SCIENCOON is a Nigeria-based science club that gives students a place
They
to
don't
express their scientific knowledge,
SSA,
as well, and also to pursue their interest in engaging in scientific activities. So this club provides opportunity for like-minded and also people to join through membership and voluntary for the projects and programs. Now, without wasting much of our time, let me quickly introduce the speaker. I don't know, maybe she's with us now because I'm just joining. So
Why?
I'll introduce her now. The woman of integrity and of
the
woman of virtue,
talk.
the prominent scholar and vitally shaped
If you
assistant
don't know,
lecturer
camera off.
and the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Join us and welcome Mrs. Anna Opola Ajayi, as she will be enlightening us on the outstanding effects and impact that can be made through life and science, the path we can choose. So, this is Anna Opola, please. If you are there back, can
Hey,
you
today.
Hi everyone.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening, ma. Please let's welcome please everybody.
Welcome, ma.
Good evening, ma.
I've actually welcomed myself because I've been here since it's 3 years. Okay, let me just say
Hey,
so
I'm really
I've
sorry.
welcomed myself.
All right, thank you, Martin. I'm sorry for coming late. Actually, I traveled the but I'm just getting them and I have issues with my phone, so I just have to quickly rectify it. So I know that's why I'm late. I'm very sorry. All right, now. So a lot of us, we really have challenge. You know, as a science student, we don't know what to do with our science. You know, most of us, what we have in mind before is that we want to do for medicine, we want to do nursing, we want to do, but in one way or the other, we find ourselves in science, classes, and so we really want to know what we can do with our certificate, and most people too that are in school, because most people are like, what can I do with science courses? What's there? So now, thank God you are here, Mama, so I can enlighten that. So, ma,
If I love this
we
way,
really want to get from you.
go
Okay,
relax.
so I was
Man,
actually the question that what are our expectations? But I think the doctor has been able to maybe answer that for every one of us. So because of our time, I actually wanted each and every one of us to talk before, but I think right now I want to just jump in.
Only me go dey there.
So, okay, I have a slide that I want to share.
That one. She go na from school she dey go Lagos. From Lagos she don go. Na only me go dey that house. I don tell Bedok say I go dey rent the house. I go dey rent that house as far as this present. Open heavens. She get 2023. Na church I
Can you see my slide, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma. We can, ma.
Still na every day dey read am.
No.
Try.
Now this girl be our clinic for church. Gambia, our vice president.
Vice President.
So is
Nice.
it switching to the next slides?
Wow.
I don't know.
Why you don't go?
No, right?
No, it's not, ma. It's not.
Who Gambia?
You?
Go for president.
Why don't you go?
No people, eh?
Why?
You don't know the work wey dey there. I think say you. How far enter?
You one-legged man. Wetin dey for leg?
I get infection, so I go comot.
Like the yeah or everywhere.
Like this.
Fuck you. How you take get infection?
Okay, go inside rain for secondary school. We don't do that.
Okay.
You don't do.
Eh?
One water.
Hey, I don't tell you it's blue by water, but I won't take my own if I forget. I dey always forget that stuff.
I don't dey hear this girl sef.
So
Baba now.
I will be alright.
Okay, yes.
Yes, ma.
Yes.
So,
You go.
alright.
You go chill now.
So just
Last time
like,
we job, if I wear shoe, like the next year after.
so I would like to thank the organizer. Before I start, I actually have a fun fact
I don't
and
know.
it's a question, it's a form of a question. So I would like to know who invented African time. So that's just a fun fact because as scientists, there's one thing we actually need to do is on timing. Time is very, very key. It's very important to keep to time because we are professionals, right? And yeah, and time is very important because if you have to deal with research and all of that, it's time bound. So that's why I just add that as a fun fact. And that came to me while I was actually waiting. So I was like, we invented African time. It's one issue we always have here when Africans try to organize something, we'll not be able to start at that exact time. So I think we really need to work on that. So I have to address that because it's very key for us.
That result dey pain me that time.
Probably because I'm the one sharing, I'm not saying I would have loved to still see the
one school,
good since you guys can
one class
see
50.
the screen. So I'd like to thank the SCIENCOON Club for allowing me
One school dey there like that. We say
talk
man,
this
they come bring am come my school.
show, a career show. So I thank Temitope, the host, and then Shegun for reaching out to me. I hope that it's going to be a worthwhile one based on the expectations that
That is nice. Let's get it past. My guys
and
dey
it's
pay.
normal because
My guys
personally most of us were always from, they used to call it medicine wounded. Most of us want to study medicine and surgery, but one way or the other we'll find ourselves in biochemistry, microbiology, biology, physics, chemistry, computer science, and the likes. But then it's actually a beautiful career, and one must be able to understand the nitty-gritty so that one can make best use of opportunities that flows about even in this field. If one don't have such information, you may not be able to utilize those opportunities well. So I'll just jump in. So that's just like a form of introduction.
If you see now all over Nigeria, the people that don't program, they are supposed to be all right.
Yeah, first come say my guy
So
said
can you see my next slide?
like we need bright.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So
so
you
it's
Yes,
can't
just
ma'am.
see
like a
it
form
now.
of
Person will say,
definition
look
of
at this
what
person
life
paper.
science
So the person person
actually
food now.
is,
Before one check
and
the
it's
paper,
just
we
the
need food food.
study of
Okay.
life, organisms,
That's
study
not
of
bad.
living
My
things.
ex to I
It
take
could be
some paper.
plants or
Yeah, this is
animals. It could be
fruits.
humans and all of that. Study of life. So why do we have to
Fruits.
study
Now we can
life?
start
Why
flying
do we
first.
have
Fruits.
to study
The first
plants? Why do we have to
okay.
study animals or
Don't
even
get
human beings? So it's actually to
when they come to the
profile
second class.
solutions to some
No
questions.
more
Time.
So
people they
just
cry
as we
after
know,
now.
there are
Keep crying.
various diseases. Thank God for the coronavirus. Yes, thank God because it's actually made everyone to be
I think we
proactive.
stabilize ourselves.
So if we were to be before, we may not be able
You
to
make
kind of
me
like
the law for
think of solution like
Because
make
this
just
now
people they follow you talk to
because
do
we
not
were
sleep.
just doing like a
Yeah.
Now,
passive form of
and that
research.
fine girl,
But right now, it's making everyone to think
Like
outside
if
of the
you all of us
box.
there,
Think
gather in class
10
for class,
years before
we
now.
need to
Think
that
20
time.
years before
So
now.
we come to sit down for
Think
that
of
class. All
another
girls will sit down with
pandemic
me.
or
My
whatsoever
colleague girls will sit
like
down
that
and
so that
don't even
immediately we'll be able to jump into action. And that's why researchers keep working around the clock to ensure that we are able to keep the earth safe or habitable for man. So that's just what
people
life science is about,
respect you
study of
anytime they
life,
get there.
organisms, and
All
all of
those
that.
videos they
So we
fire.
are not just trying to be nosy into, it's not just trying to be nosy
Is this your own
into,
food
oh,
now?
let me just
Let,
try to
let me
begin
let
to
me be accept now.
When you
unravel
tell us how
or
to
unfold
make
this.
five
It's
hundred
not
dollars in
being,
10 minutes,
it's not trying to be nosy,
that
but
is not
before you're able
like
to
this. No be for
profile
Nigeria.
solution to a
Your
particular
voice be
problem,
enter
you must be able to understand what that problem is
You
actually
can't go over
about.
some.
And then once you're able to understand, okay,
your
where
put
has things
their
gone wrong,
YouTube channel.
what happened.
Eh,
Thank God for biochemistry. We always talk
I
about
know. Just
metabolism and all
to
of that.
myself.
Or
I know the
genetic
rush.
switch and
I
all
know
of that
the
actually
rush.
was turned on or turned off and all of that. So all
I
of
know.
those
I know
questions
the
in
clouds.
our mind will help us to be able
What time is
to
your closing soon?
research and to profile
My own
solutions.
now
So
6:40.
life science is real of
By 6 p.m.
life and
6:40
organisms.
and that's 3:40.
So what are the pathways in careers? What are the pathways to career in life sciences? So we have
Now all
biochemistry,
our
biology,
international
zoology.
no
So these are just
baby
to
workers.
mention a few. There
None
are
of them
lots
take
more.
care
There's
school. Can you
computational
even talk?
chemistry. Like personally myself, I've had background in biochemistry, but right now I'm a computational chemist. So I use computers to
Why
study
you want to chop yourself?
biological
Maybe we chop.
systems. So that's why I said life science is all encompassing. It's cut across medicine and surgery.
Now already.
For those that still have interest in medicine and
All
surgery, cut
respecting
across medicine and surgery, cut across nursing, even
Not like
nursing,
how to
cut
do.
across pharmacy. So you cut out it's just like
You not see this
the
thing.
roots
Very
of a
clean.
tree and all of that. So it's linked
the rest
into
of
several other branches.
You know the
So just as I said, my background is biochemistry, but right now I'm
by now.
into
they don't even put
computational
it on the
chemistry.
phone for no
So I'm
time.
using
You
computer to
should make
study
a this
big
house before I know the
molecules, biomolecules, big
And
systems
see now just
that are easily studied even in the lab.
easy but
So with this knowledge I will be able to have using computers, I'll be able to, it will help me to be able to just bring that to the lab and then things will sync and I will have like a faster or more
now
productivity.
now twice in a week you go
So to be able to get a footing
now they don't
in
tell us you know we
career in life sciences, you must
quarter.
have like a first degree. It
So
could be BSc
new
or
work for
BTech,
us.
and
Yes,
it
we
could
don't
also
keep
be its
work.
other equivalent like HND.
Like
So
we
that
did
could
get
be
for
maybe for
get for
those that
make we no get
are
because
enrolled in a
we dey get
polytechnic
for
or graduate from a polytechnic. It's
say
actually
get
equivalent to first
so
degree BTech.
now
Then
and
you
they
could
just
go
say we go
further
for second
to MSc,
like
Masters in Science or MTech and
to
PhD.
start with
So there are some notions that we've always been having that
and the reason
if you study biochemistry or microbiology, it's either you teach or you go into tailoring or you start selling clothes. That's not true. It's just if you don't know your what, if you
this
don't
is
know
it.
your
Our
onions, you
lecturer
don't
is
know
not tell us
like what you're
there's no
actually
picture in this
made
course.
of and what you actually
I
want
Like you
you
want to
would
talk
want
about
to like, okay, let me
medical
just
knowledge.
dive into all
The
of those
highest thing, the
things.
highest thing can
So
be
while those things are
is
good,
even a lecturer.
personally myself, I can sew, I
What
can
about
knit
lecturers
and
now?
all of
Talk
that.
up.
But while those things are good, if you're actually career driven and you want to like build
You have
up
to
a
be
career in
someone
life science, then
average
you actually need to build up
people.
yourself in this path, in this career path that you've chosen. So not to is so by so doing is not probably because the end goal is to make money. If the end goal is actually to make money, then you can always do any other thing to make money. So these are just some few areas in life sciences, mathematics, statistics, microbiology, biotech. I know I didn't put biotech here, but it's part of it, and it's just so much. Like it's very much.
Depends
So
on
you
if
need
you
to
say
have
now
your
300
BTech or BSc,
by the
and
helmet.
then if you want to go further, MSc is very key, and then PhD, and also to postdoctoral level if
See
you
me,
actually want to continue.
I
So
I know
you may be
how
thinking, what can I do? Just as
I feel
the
the
host
work
said before we
and I feel the
started,
work.
that what can I do with a life science degree or a biology degree? Because
If the
all of
money
these are
come in
related to
for them,
biology.
I
Biology is
be like
just study
if I
of
see
life.
this thing,
So all
this
of those are
better
related to
job.
biology. So if you see this slide,
Maybe
you can be a biotechnologist. You can
I
that's
know
if you're a
in my family
biotechnologist, then that
$1,000.
means you can work in
I don't know.
beverage
I
industry,
was for 5 days
genetic
like this
engineering and all of
for
those. Then you can
maybe
also be a
just
bioinformatics, just as I said that
I know we
right
see
now I'm
sunlight.
a computational chemist.
You don't
So
know
that can
you
also be
see
like a
sometimes I
bioinformatics.
feed
So
them
I'm
out
using
2 days, man.
information technology,
Man, no see my dog.
ICT or computer to study
Like
biological
I will not
system,
there
to
out there.
study
Usually
proteins, you
for
can use
something
it to
like
study genes,
I
you
do
can
one
use it
for
to
recent.
study
I do 40, but I
DNA
do what
or
like fast.
RNA. So you can use computer to study all of those. There are some force field that have been put together
What can
to
you do
be
with
able to
technology
help
degree?
one to do all of those studies, even right from the computer before taking it to the lab. So you can also be a quality sales representative, and one can even, you may be thinking, oh, maybe medical, food, drug, and all of that. But you can actually work in the bank, you can work in commercial industries, you can even be a lawyer as a life
Fast character.
scientist. So this is because once you have the
You
brain
don't
to
suspend
think,
them.
just as I said,
3 of
we
them.
always have like questions. You have like a research questions that you
Why?
actually want to answer. So once you're able to think, you think solution at a snap, you're able to think fast. That is actually a good skill that is needed anywhere in any field. For the fact that you can think fast, you're able to profile a solution. Probably okay, if you could be in
We
the
write
banking
now.
sector, you are you
Now
have
them
the
go
ability to
professional
think
na
very
scholar.
fast. So all that
So
you've
now we don't
learned
talk
as a
suspend. Then I
scientist,
look at
as a
them
life scientist, you're able to put it
like
into the banking sector to profile solution. So just as we know in olden days,
and
like, oh,
most of the
if
time
you
no
want
be
to
your
count money, you can use probably water and spit and all of that to
people
count money
comment.
with your hands. But it took
And
someone to think fast that, oh, we could have machines that will
you
count
go to
for one. And then that's even physical. We
my
could also have like a digital machine that will be
my
able to count,
my
like the
supervisor to
ATM.
tire for
It
that
was actually
because
embedded in there.
she's
And
not
that's
she's
why
not
you
in
see
good
that
time.
oftentimes,
Why
even if you have to,
okay
if you want to
this
withdraw
is why
money
why
from
the
the
way now.
ATM, even if you count, I don't
So
think
I have your
it's rare.
research
The error level will
I
be
said
rare.
now
Let me not say there is no
in my
error level,
house
but the error level
I
is
have
rare. So it took
a
someone
hub
to think, and that
for
is
fashion. We are doing
all
fashion
life
for
scientists do.
for
They
my house
think
for people.
solution. So it then
I know
depends
the way
on
in place.
what you are
There are
profiling
eight
solution to,
people who see the work. People
biological
from
system or
computer they
probably
come here
physical
work
system, as the
and
case
people
may
come
be.
here they do
So a life
doing this one.
scientist can actually work anywhere.
You are
You can work in
I tell my supervisor
meat and
to
poultry
take
as a meat and
work.
poultry food
I am not saying everybody
inspector.
that's
You
what
can
was
work as a forester. You can
I
work
don't
as
use
an horticulturist. You can
found
work
design but
everywhere, like
at the
anywhere,
second
even in probably force, like
I don't know why I
a
keep on design. I mean
criminologist
there are
and all
places
of
you have
that. One can
there is
also,
in
so one
Kuka
can
one
feature
one
anywhere. You can work in nursing. You can work as a nurse. You can work as a
or
forensic
upon
worker,
the
a
take on the
wildlife
do motivation sha
worker, scientist,
upon the
and all
so
of that, soil
and
scientist.
so to the
So it's
thing
all
so
encompassing. So
trouser
one shouldn't just limit oneself.
as
Don't
me
think,
say
oh,
like stop
since
again
I
put me
studied
up for my
biochemistry, everything I need to do is just metabolism or maybe drug and all of that. No. As a biochemistry,
everybody else it's
anywhere.
five. It's
So I
seven.
know there are
I'm
some
only the lowest. I don't say she does
discrepancies or how will I put it now?
and till
There are
now. Stop
some
we talk. Me and my advisor because she be young woman. She just married. So you see
but there are some discrepancies on like
by
oh
post
we need
we say
someone with this degree.
they
But I
attack
think the world is actually growing. Like I remember I saw some
you
adverts
make
about
my
this is it oil refinery or something.
person DM
Actually
me what I
looking for
say
chemists.
I
So one can work
I
anywhere. You
hate
can even work in oil refineries and
I
all
hate
of that.
school maybe
So it's actually broad. It's
don't
broad
look and
and
say
there are a lot of opportunities
meeting with
that
the
are bound for
just say
life
post
sciences.
the only way to
It
web
goes
so
beyond lab.
That stuff when you post that there, just
So
be
the
like,
three main
just say
career
you send
paths
your video
for
of credit, then they appreciate
students
you, go
in
send
life
you.
sciences
I
is
just dey laugh.
industry, just as I talked about oil refinery,
my
Dangote
dad
and the likes
say
now. It's
the
one
bank
can so once you know your path, just know yourself,
I
understand
don't want
yourself.
to
Where do I actually want to
conquer
venture? Do I want to go
like
into the banking
prayer
industry and then develop
like more
myself
four
in that area? Or do I want to be
like
a researcher?
I can't
Once
say
you are
I'm
able
like the
to
one
know what path you
the prayer
actually
the
want
prayer
for
taught
yourself,
me
then you can
I
begin
will
to
go you
build
go
yourself in line
you
with that
me I will
path.
go use my you
So
know
the
I
three
ask
main career paths for students in life sciences could be
my
the
babe try
industry.
to me one time
It could be like the
like
beverage
she
industry,
teach
food industry, drug industry, and all of that.
I
The
can't face that
industries.
cruise
Then the one in the
one of the
middle is
best
like the research
can't spend
institutes.
things
So I know of
so
Firo
like
in
that
Nigeria, there's
I
Firo,
think it will be
there are a lot
like
of other research
yeah,
institutes,
yeah,
even NAFDAC is part of it.
this short
Then there's this very
I was
common one, I think, in
this
Ibadan.
is
There are about two research
acts.
institutes in Ibadan. So those are like those
It will take
places
time before I
life
understand.
sciences are also needed. Then you may want to go into the academic world.
Now the
So
Peter Street
that's
My
post,
called
Insta, my
the
Insta,
academia.
I don't
So
think
if you want to be a
the
professor,
Peter Street post
so just as
something
myself,
called,
I'm actually in the
person talk
academics.
say she no dey
So I'm
expect
a
friends
professor of
from
biochemistry.
people.
A
But
professor of biochemistry because I teach biochemistry,
say
right?
she see
So
say
that's a part.
like very
So I'll
grateful,
look
like
at
see
oh, what do I want to
I
do?
just
I'll begin
nah
to kind
that
my
day
library and think, oh,
I
what I
ain't
want
need
to
to tell you
do. Okay,
anything
I
like
want to be
if
a
I
researcher. I
tell
always
you
call it I want to
you
be a
will be like
renowned researcher. So if you think you want to be a renowned researcher, then there are two paths you can go. You can either go to the research institute or
but
be
because
in the
they
academics
tell me
because
things
the
like
academic give you room
anything.
to
Don't just
actually
be say I don't.
juggle between
But don't
being a
always say you
researcher and being
don't
a
talk things, you
teacher.
can't say
So
thanks.
those two are merged together in the academic. So you can be a researcher and you can be a teacher. But if you feel
Now
like, oh,
boys
I
come
don't
out
want to teach at all, then
because
I
now
just
boys
want
now
pure research,
just knock
then
you
the
500k, 200k.
research institute
So
will
say
be
now my own
a
5k,
very
10k,
great
to
option
the
for
quick.
you. Then also, if
Let
you
me
want to be
quick
a
now.
researcher, you can also go to the industry also because in the industry there's a particular position they call quality assurance.
My body
So
deal with
that's just like myself. I remember when I did my IT, I did it in the industry.
I don't know.
So I was like a QR personnel for the industry. So what we do is we think about, so that's why I said it is ability to think about how to make our products the best. And so it's not just you are not a food scientist. So okay, life scientists can also be a food scientist. But if you are looking at being just a researcher, then a researcher is different from a food scientist in that you are not mixing the product, but you are formulating the product actually. So if you look at Coca-Cola, if you've tasted Coke and Pepsi, you see that they taste
you will
different.
not chop am.
So all of that is the work of a researcher.
You chop
If you look at
You see
Gala, rights, and all
better
of these
idea.
things,
But say you dey do this
Gala and rights don't have the same taste, even though they are the same sausage
you
roll,
know do am.
or maybe the random sausage rolls that you see
no be
in
not say dem go
the
launch
cake
you.
shop
You
and
get
all of that.
liquidity
They
sef.
don't taste
They
the
don't
same.
no,
It's
they
the
don't
work
test
of the
next
researcher.
now. See, the
So
first one,
ability
the first
to
test
think,
next.
how
Before
can
they
I
come
make my
launch.
product? How can I
So
make my
like
company's
people they say
product
make you
unique? So
if
the
you no
common is
go
a
make this
formula
out there.
that as
So
a
make you
chemist
won't go to test
or
net
as a
and the
biochemist or
main
as
net.
a life
You know
scientist
only
come
test
up
net
with formulas of new
know.
products that will
Guys, go
be
run
able
am
to
again.
make
I
the
don't want
product, the
to last year.
company's products to be
I was run am
unique, and then you
how
do
for
that
you
research in the lab. You do the research in the lab. What can I add? Is there ascorbic acid? Do I add more vitamin C that will attract a particular market? Probably if your aim is to attract children's market. So all of these ideas are the things that will help you when you appear as an interviewee in the company, and they are telling you, okay, what do you want to bring to the table? How do you want to help this company? So it lies on you to have studied their lapses and all of that to know, oh, where is this company lagging behind and all of that. I can help improve the product. How? That's the question. How do you want to do that? And all of that to make it competitive. So how? Because any industry, any CEO, any industry, they are thinking money. So they are thinking money. How do you want to increase the money flow in the industry? So once you are able to know which part do you want to go into, do I want to be a researcher? And as a researcher, it's cut across. That's what I was explaining. Cut across the academics, the research institutes, and also the industry. So, but if you are like money oriented, well, I want to make money, most people will always say that can be found in the industry because like there's money in the industry. But when it comes to research institutes, the money may not be that
Jesus
much.
Christ.
So if you are money oriented, then you should know where you go, where you go to.
As
So
one lecturer,
that's why I said the first thing is for you to sit down and look at yourself. What do I actually want to do? So this part is just telling us of the three major career paths. There's industry, there's research institute, and then academics. So as we go in, I will later explain what it takes to actually pick a career path in any of these three major places. So choosing your path, I know I've explained some of this in the previous slide. Choosing your own path. So while you are getting set, the first thing is to know yourself, understand yourself. What do you actually want? So most people, just as I said before, medicine wounded, want to treat, want to heal want to heal the sick. Most people actually want to heal the sick. So right now, if you are in the field of life I mean you're in life sciences, you're in the field of life science, as most people during the introduction introduce themselves as being in either biochemistry or biotechnology or chemistry or biology, physics and whatsoever. So getting to life sciences. So if yours was before, oh, I actually wanted to study medicine before because I want to heal the sick. So using that, that's just like you can actually heal the sick, you can actually treat diseases and all of that from the laboratory. So even the medicine, the medical practitioners actually rely on the life sciences. They rely on the researches from the life sciences. The pharmacists rely on the researches of the life sciences. So even as a life sciences, you can also even be a pharmacist. You can be a pharmacist. So that's why I said life science is actually very broad. It's actually very broad. It's not, you are not restricted to just one side. So like if you're a pharmacist, I know most of pharmaceutical stuff is to probably like prescribe drug and all of that, but they may not even understand the mechanism at which those drugs act. But as a life scientist, you understand all of these things. So if you're a medical doctor, you may be able to perform surgery, you may be able to heal the sick, but you may not even understand the mechanism at which the things that they're actually administering to ameliorate those diseases, they may not understand how it works and they may not even be able to formulate it. But that is the work of the life sciences. So you can see that being a life scientist, you are not restricted. It's very broad. You can today you may be doing research on cancer. Tomorrow you may pick malaria to be your research. You may start doing researches on malaria. Tomorrow it may be coronavirus. Next tomorrow it may. So just think about it. It's broad. It's broad. Career path in life sciences. I mean in life science is actually broad. So the first thing is to know yourself. What do you actually want? Where do you want? Do you want to? Where do you actually? What's your focus? Is it money? If it is money, just as I said before, if money is the driving force, then you should look at where to go to actually make the money. Maybe oil refineries, maybe NNPC, and all of that. So once your goal if your goal is to make money and then you are looking for job in probably research institutes, or you're looking for job in universities to be a lecturer and all of that, then it could lead to frustration because you will not get money. So you must have another driving force. Probably the driving force, if you want to maybe be in the research institute, is just to profile solution. You love to research, you love to like look at things, you love to investigate things, you love to check systems, you love to. Some people may have. I remember I had a cousin then that came visiting everything, every electrical stuff in the house. You will always like open to say, okay, you want to investigate stuff, you want to see. It could be your computer, you want to open the motherboard, you want to see what's there, what's even making this computer to work, and all of that. So if you are just being inquisitive, if you love to like, you have a lot of questions that you actually want
Victor
to
Onimisi.
think about research. But if your goal, if your driving force is money, and you are looking at maybe research and all of that, it may lead to frustration. So that's why I'm in this choosing your path, getting set. The first thing is to know yourself. What do you actually want? Where do you see yourself? What do you want? And then once you know yourself, okay, this is where I want. So I'll be talking about just like profiling solution, investigating system, probing system now, and that is research. I could throw a little more light on some other part, but right now focus on research so that we'll go through all of these things to see how to build yourself. Then you can use it in whatsoever thing that you want. So just know yourself. What do you want? So for myself, I know I love to ask questions. I was actually, or will I say right now, I'm still being inquisitive. So right from secondary school, I've always wanted to, what's even in the moon and all of that. Is it habitable for a human? And then we hear about astrologers going to the moon and all of that. So I have these questions that I actually want answers to. So to be able to answer those questions, you need to probe those systems to be able to answer those questions. So that is research. So I already know myself, and then the next thing is for you to set targets. So you set targets. What's your target? So if I want to be a researcher, what do I need to be a researcher? What are the things that I need to be a researcher? What are the things I need to like put together in order to be a researcher as I want? So you set your target. Oh, is okay. Thank God most of us are in universities. So, but assuming you were just leaving secondary school, you know that, oh, then I need mathematics, I need English, I need biology, I need physics, and I need chemistry to be able to come into this field of probably life science or medicine or whatsoever. So just you have to know that and then set targets. What do I need to meet this target? So if you want to be a researcher, you know that, oh, okay, I want to probably be in the research institute. Go and look at the requirements to be in research institute. What are their requirements? Is first degree okay? For lecturing, first degree is not okay. You need your masters at least to be able to start as a graduate assistant before growing to probably assistant lecturer and then keep growing in the field. So you need to know what do I need to be able to come into this field. So I'll streamline also to the academic. So you know, oh, okay, I want to be a
This guy
researcher.
talk say your
What will be the
friend
platform that
Zambi
will
chop
help me
rabbit
to
from
be able to actually thrive in this area? Okay, will the university system help me then? If what you want to be is to go into the academics as a researcher, and you must also know that, oh, you will also teach them. You must enjoy
address
teaching.
tell
You must enjoy talking to people. You must
hey chop
enjoy
700.
communication. So you need to build your communication skills. So all of those things are the things that will help you. What is the requirement to be a
I go
lecturer?
go
What is
punish you.
the
Nah,
requirement for
I go
going
go
into the
punish you.
academics?
I
Then you set your
just go
target.
punish
Oh, that means by
you.
this time I must have so.
Your
And
your
once you're
story don't
setting
reach
targets, it should be time bound.
your
By this
your
time I
story
must
don't
have
reach
my second degree,
my
that's my
A and
master's
the
or my
CV.
MTech. Then by this time also, in order to get promoted,
Okay?
in order to grow
So
in
you
that field,
you
I must
chop
have my
am.
PhD.
No come
I
tell me.
must go
This
on to
one oh
postdoctoral level and all of that, and then doing a lot of
no chop am
various
now.
research
I no chop.
fellowship and like that.
I
So
swear.
once you already know that you've set your targets, then the next thing to do
I
is to
don't
create
know.
roadmap.
I do
So
try
what is a map?
transactions for my two
A map
wallets,
just in a layman's
and
language.
none of them they
What helps
eligible. They
us
shock
gives
me.
direction. okay, you want to move from point A to point B, you don't know how to get there. With
How
the
many?
aid of a map, you'll be able to get that direction and how to get there. So that is just it. You already know, okay, I want to be a researcher in
Na lie you
I
chop.
want to be a researcher
Na
in
lie you
an
chop.
academic field
Person tell me say you
or
chop.
in a university or in a
You chop.
polytechnic or
You dey lie.
a teaching
You
whatsoever like that.
you
So
chop
you
and you
already
don't
know
chop.
then how do I get from this point where I am now to this second
Use
point? You use those
your left
directions that will
boss
help you get
say you
there.
no
So
chop.
that's
Ah,
setting,
very good.
creating roadmap. The next thing is to strategize. So what are the
No,
strategies that you
na
need to
because
put
say
in
you know
place
say
to be able to
your
get
bank
there?
account too bright.
Is it highly
You go use light for your
competitive?
house again.
So you could even look at your sets, like for my set in school, we're over 80.
You need light
So you
again.
can imagine if
Ah,
80 biochemists graduate in just one university in a school.
you chop.
I mean,
You chop.
yeah, in just one
Well, you
university
don't want to tell
in
me.
a country,
No
and
worry.
we have over 100 universities and a lot of public
65.
institutions that would probably have even higher numbers.
How much you cost sell
I
am?
remember
Ah,
even then, a friend of mine was telling me about those in Akuba that they were over 300 or so. So just think about it.
Honestly,
Oh, we have 1,000 plus biochemists graduating
you mad?
daily. So how do I make myself stand out? What are the strategies that I need to put in place
Guy,
to make myself stand out? Then
you
now
understand
moves
all
to the
these things
next one
now?
to upskill yourself.
Ebon
So
come
right now you know, oh, the
for
competition
like
is high.
$30.
Then you don't have to operate in the normal level of
1.2.
everybody.
You don't reach
Okay.
1.2
You just
now.
want to flow with the
For like
tide,
$13
just go
now.
to class, go to lab,
You didn't dip
do
to
some
1.2.
experiments and all of that. No. So right now you need to think of how
Hey,
to
go.
upskill yourself, and where we want to talk about that, that's the next one will lead us to
You
building
go sell
assets.
them now. You go
So
sell them.
that's just like starting from undergraduates, most of us are still undergrad
You go
now,
sell them.
or those that are even in their second degree right now trying
You
to
hear me? You hear me?
obtain a master's degree. You must understand that you are not just doing it because you know that okay, this is where I want to go and this is the requirement. I need an
Ah,
MSc
the guy no
certificate.
sense, really.
So you must understand that you are not just doing it for the certificate. So just as I said that because you know that there's competition, so you want to make yourself stand out of all of the flow, you want to stand out there, you must do something
You hear me?
differently. You must do things differently from the way every random person would do it. So in your research also, your projects is usually called projects. You must ensure that you are giving your best to it and
You supposed sell them now. Ah,
possibly even publish a
from
paper from that
from
because that will
$13.
lead us to the next opportunities that lies ahead of one as a life scientist. It could
Hey,
be
God.
scholarships and all of that.
Hey, God.
So that's why you must build your assets. Those are your assets, your projects, your final year projects, and all of that. You must ensure that you build your
Yeah,
assets. If I
yeah.
had known, so someone said
Yeah, I
that
need them.
once you are informed, you will not
Yeah, I
be
need
deceived.
them. Yeah.
So I actually wish I had actually known some of these things as an undergrad. I would have probably so even though I was like, oh,
Just come give me half.
my
Come give me half.
maybe when you want to write like your statements or your personal statements and
He
all of that on your research, and you're thinking, oh, my undergraduate projects, the results were rather exciting, and I
you
was
go sell them
graded, I
for
had an A grade even in it. Yes, A grade, but is it actually publishable? The result, is it
that if you
actually
know
publishable?
symmetry. That
So having this
no spend
information now will make
$3
you to know
except
if
come
you're
come.
in final year, if you're doing project right
Go
now, research
Ima.
project, or
I
you
don't take
are
to my
in
house.
your
You no get network.
second degree, trying to
Na
obtain a
bastard
second
room you
degree.
get.
It will make you to know the attitude that you should put into your research,
Uh,
knowing fully whether I'm not just doing this to obtain a
why would they
certificate.
want you?
It could even be a first class certificate or a distinction. But when you know that I'm not
Yes,
just doing
now
this
we
to
dey
obtain
just
a certificate, I'm doing
in
this to
in
put
come
myself out
in
there. I'm
come
doing
into
this to make
today
myself
say
stand
you wan
out.
see me you get.
Then your
So
attitude
I got
towards your
to
research will
got
be
them say
different.
he
It
don't
will
get
be
half of the
yes, you
money.
actually want to probe system to know.
When
And
pay me
once
half,
you know, you can throw your results out
they
there
will
in
find
form
out.
of a paper
Me know
publishable.
say if he
So
don't
that's
pay
what I
am,
was saying, talking about
so
your
I
building your
tell am say
assets towards
I be beg am for my
opportunities
money wey
that
go
will
dey pay me
surface.
out.
So if you have not
I want to say
actually
make I see my
been
money
preparing for these
before next week
opportunities that
Wednesday.
are yet to
Say
surface, once they
once
surface, if you've not built
once
your assets, you may not be
Wednesday
able
finish,
to harness those
I'll come go
opportunities.
back
So that's
I
why
go
you must build
calculate
your asset. Then approach the target. So
everything.
you already know what you want. Then you have built
Get
your assets. Then the
everything.
next thing
Say,
is
I
to
know they think of
start
pay
applying, look for
times three of
opportunities. Even
the
if the
money to
opportunities
money.
does not show, you yourself
You do
look
that
for
times three.
opportunities. So once you have done all of that, then you can reflect. Oh, did I really do well?
The
You
things we
can
say
reflect. If you did well,
one
then
pay.
you spur yourself to do more. But if you did not, then it's an
Say
opportunity to actually go back to the
say man
drawing board
say make we
and
do am
then
make we try to get
start
certificate.
from the beginning again. Or probably that's not my calling.
I got talk
Maybe
say
the research is not, I thought I would be a good
so the guy
researcher
now
and
I come
all
dey
that.
tey now.
Maybe you can
So
think,
I come go meet
go
am
back
say
to
I dey
the
give
drawing
it
board
to
and
the
then start from
NC
knowing yourself again. So
NSC.
I hope that
Say
helped
if
on how to
I
actually
no see
build
that
a career
certificate
in life
I go
science,
come
and
go
you
back
can
my work
relate that to the other part.
plus because
If
the
the
trust
driving
wallet
force is I want to
I go
make
go
money.
plus
So
the
I
solar
remember those while I got
I calculate everything.
employed as an academic.
I go
I
wetin the
remember
price
some
dey
of my
back then
colleagues that also got
after
employed
everything the
into
last thing they
oil
go come
industry
I know that say
collecting
me and you go
over
say
times
see that
three of
calculate
what I'm collecting.
go enter wahala.
But I must find fulfillment because
I
that is what I actually love
don
doing.
talk say
But if that is not what I love doing, then
Wednesday
I will not
if
find
that no come
fulfillment
come
in doing it. So you must know
I
what is
will gats
actually your
complete
driving
the work.
force to be
If you
able
no
to
complete for am before
help
this
you on how
day
to pursue it and then
na
on
there
how
work
to
start
also make
now.
the best use of
So today you
opportunities
come
that
tell me say he
surfaces
don get half of the
around there.
money.
So
Mm.
I hope
Say
that helped them. The growth
let me see
tree.
how much I
So
do.
just as I've said
I
before,
don see
starting
if I
from,
collect 125K.
I hope you guys can hear me. I think I'm supposed. Hello.
Yes, ma,
Yes,
definitely.
ma. Yes, ma.
Okay, so I
So
just wanted that feedback. Then,
so as I say
so I was,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, I'll still give room for
if it
questions.
will not come out,
I just wanted that
me and
feedback.
the man am not
So
doing
this is just like the
or
growth
we
three
friends again.
that
You
I've. I mean, it's
understand?
part
Now,
of
wetin
all I've
na
been
wetin
saying before.
coordinator
So
still
there
tell
are
me
two
be
parts.
say
It could be the academics, it could be the
friendship no be by
industry,
force.
non-academic. I could
Omo,
put characterize the industry and the research institutes under
Now,
non-academics.
people dey talk say I
But in
get
everything,
why I
if
talk
one
let me
wants
see.
to like get promoted,
Let me
then
see.
you actually need to
Let me send
add
pictures.
things, and that was what I was
No, dey
talking
na for
about.
church now.
The
Everybody
get
like
create your roadmaps, strategize,
one
and
big
then
family.
upskill. So you need to add things to
Especially people
yourself.
say na the
So
same
right
people
now, thank God for the world is
same
becoming a global
unity
village.
dey.
There are a lot of
No be like
certifications that one can
one
do,
big
even on
family now.
LinkedIn. There are a lot of
So that
certifications
is
and there are
competition.
various trainings that are flying about. So it's actually good to harness those trainings. And the beautiful thing is that they are free trainings. You could check Coursera. Coursera always have free courses. So there are things that you can use to like build yourself up. So and they have free courses on computational chemistry, bioinformatics, and all of that because the world is fast becoming a global village. So you actually need all of those things. So as the world is improving, you yourself must
who be
improve.
this
So
old old
the
block
first basic thing is
Who's
to
about to
get a
block?
first degree,
decline
which
rights.
almost everybody,
Yeah,
or
na
say everybody, is actually in line with that, is to
They
get a
have
first degree with science major, since we are all in the life sciences. I mean, we are all life scientists and in the life science discipline. So the first thing is to get a first degree. That already sets you off into building a career in life science, but that is not enough. That is not enough. So you have to upskill yourself. So you
na
can go
institute
further into getting all of those certifications that I've said.
Okay.
Look at Coursera, look at
So what graduate
Duolingo, and all of
mad.
these available platforms to get
I just dey
other
surprised say you still dey put
certifications.
cruise.
So you can look at short,
God
probably
forbid
like two
it's
weeks
me o.
courses and all of that
I go
that you can do.
e get one person wey wan dey turn laptop
Sorry,
now.
excuse me.
So
So
what
that you can do to actually build
Eh,
yourself. Then the next thing is
the
to
way
get
I
a
do like
second degree, which is
see my status I
masters.
no
Then you grow to
dey do my
doctoral
position. Guy
level,
see
and
am
then
but
you
no
grow
say
to postdoctoral
you just
level. So
misunderstand me.
from there, this will
But the way my
set
body
you off
come dey do
into
like
harnessing all of those opportunities
I come
in
imagine
the
person
non-academic world and in
wey
the
no come
academic
get
world.
I no go dey
So just like
no
that.
go dey
So
post.
for one who is
It just
saying,
be
"Oh,
like
I
say
want to be a
everybody
renowned
wants am.
researcher," then you
So
must think
I go
about
be like John
the
Wick. I go dey
things
hide.
to actually do again to build yourself. Just
Some
like talk
people dey
about
written in their blog
getting certifications, you
and
could
the guy
get
be serious.
certifications on being
I
a reviewer. So even as in this level that you are right now, you can
I
start reading up on
no
that,
get
how
that
to
kind
be a
of
reviewer, how to be a
all
peer
these people wey
reviewer,
say
a
I dey
journal
make. You say I'm looking
peer
at
reviewer that's review other
I'm
people's
there,
work,
Tired.
because all
I'm
of
there
those
research
things too
eating
will
water.
help you to throw
If I
yourself
fail
out
in
there
life,
if you are looking
over
for
a
a
month,
job.
you know, risk
So you want
over
to know
failure. Over a month, say,
how many jobs of other people have you actually judged.
I'm saying,
But to be able to judge someone's job, you yourself must actually know the job. You must be
I don't
good
tell
in the job
my
itself. So
pastor,
you can do all of those courses on how
my
to be a
pastor,
reviewer, how to read journal
also,
publications, and what
say,
that simply means is being a researcher. You want to
you
read,
man,
oh,
okay,
this person has brought out this research. It could be on maybe malaria and all of that. It could be a malaria research, but the methods that they actually did
because me,
to
I'm the one
research
that
on
say,
that, is it actually a viable
now
method?
my therapy
So you
go,
want
and
to
my
look at it.
therapist
So I'll use
for para.
myself as an example. Okay,
I
right
never
now
tell
I'm a
my
computational chemist.
my
I'm a computational chemist, and I'm seeing a journal publication out there on, it could be drug,
Charge
it could
the
be like drug
plus.
discovery. Right now,
This
drug
my guy.
discovery is actually going
One of my
to, is
guys.
diving
My
into
online friend.
computers so
Same
that
like.
to
I don't
cut
even know.
short those
Obvious.
long years of
And your
having
friend
to
poison her. Eh?
in the lab and all of that, do experiment before you go to
No,
preclinical processes and then clinical processes to
like
be able to
me.
synthesize a drug.
No fit work.
So using computer right now, you can cut short all of those long
And
years.
later he can
So
start to
if another person has thrown
I
out,
see for like the
oh,
thing is
this
go
plant,
destroy
so
all
that's why I said
your
as a life
nerves
scientist,
now.
you are everything.
Na
You
poison now.
must be a
Getting
plant
go dey
scientist
different thing.
and all of that. So
One,
if they come and say,
your
oh,
blood
this
go dey
plant
dry.
has
Number two, all
various
your
bioactive
liver,
ingredients,
you
like the
understand? Your
chemicals that
kidney
can
go dey burn.
actually cure
Number
malaria.
ah
So you
God,
want to
your
look at
lungs.
the
Like
methods that
e go be
they've
like say you
used.
don
It could even be
swallow this thing.
computational models and
You
all of that.
swallow
So this method that they've
eat
used, is
eat
it
cereal.
sufficient
Now you
enough to come up
different
with
poison
this
because you
conclusion?
get the same
So
thing.
before you can judge that,
the
you
press.
yourself, you must be good in that
And
area.
I
So you
recently
must
the
build
pattern.
yourself. So once you're able to see, oh,
Now,
this
God
is not
imagine that
sufficient
one
enough,
feel to
then
trust
you
anybody.
can tell that journal publication
The
not to
person never
publish such
think about the guy must.
results out because it's not
You think your
comprehensive
mama
enough.
go feel.
So, but if it's very comprehensive, they use
God,
computational models and then also
God
use
feel the
experimental methods.
star.
And with their
Otherwise,
proven results, it's actually reproducible. You try repeating search and then you are able to get similar results. Then you can
I
tell
think
me
that
that,
makes
oh,
it
yes,
self
this is what
correct.
can be thrown out
you
there.
know, say,
I
the
said,
Bible say
if this
the
is what you want
free
to
rain wey
be,
say
then you
fall on the
must
sea
build
and e fall
yourself
on
to
the
be able
grass.
to enjoy it
So
fully.
everybody dey chop the
Otherwise, you may just have it as
over
a
dey go
goal
about thinking
and
dey
never
out see
achieve
by
it.
or
You
the
just
company dey fall 500 for
ask you, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Be a Ronaldo
This go
National,
carry me
be a
go out.
professor of biochemistry, but you don't build yourself, then you
Let
will
me go
not be
chop
able
tomorrow.
to actually thrive
How you dey see
in
cash
that
here?
area. So because I want us to be able to ask questions, so these are just a few
I will
opportunities
dey
that I
stop
put
am.
in place, put together
all
rather,
you
even in
P
Nigeria. There
P
are
always
other
like
opportunities
dem
outside
say
also
ma
that I'm
pay
talking about.
for
So all of these
for ticket.
ones that I
I
put
don't
together, they are either
I dey
pharmaceutical
come I
research
just cross
institutes
road I
and
go
then
my business
industries
give me
where life sciences
I give
are
her
actually
3K
needed.
transfer.
Johnson and Johnson, we all know that is a very popular
When dem
product
dey
even
use that
among
thing extort
children. So
people.
it could be a soap industry, it could be powder
Omo talk
industry,
the
it could be
word for.
cosmetic industry and all of that. The life scientists are actually needed even there. In pharmaceuticals, even in medical hospitals, life sciences are actually needed. So it could also be in food industry, life sciences are needed. It could even be as a sales representative, medical sales representative. Life sciences are needed. Why are life sciences needed in medical sales representative field is because if you want to sell probably a drug or all of this, what do they call these things that they give? So because I'm not so good at drugs, I might have drip, yeah, all of this drip and all of that. You must be able to understand how it works. If once someone asks you or a an hospital that you are supplying that to as a representative, sales representative of that industry, if they ask you, "Oh, what's the mechanism of action when this person takes this, if we pass this into the system of this person, can this person begin to engage in several activities immediately and all of that?" You must be able to understand that, oh no, the person needs to take rest for like 1 hour and all of that, because it takes time for it to metabolize and all of that and all of that. Or the person needs to eat before taking it and all of that. So you need to be a life scientist to even be a medical sales representative. So the opportunities are much. They are very much. Then another thing is it could also open doors for scholarships. I know of is it Federal Scholarship Board in Nigeria. They also help to fund some second degrees and PhD even in Nigeria. But outside Nigeria, there are lots of opportunities, and that was why I put that Google is your best friend and Google is your best blog. So there are a lot of opportunities. Is it in the United States of America? Is it in UK, France? Lot of there are a lot of opportunities as a researcher or to further even your to further in your field to go for the PhD or masters. There are a lot of scholarships that are available. So just make Google your best plug when it comes to all of that. So if you want to further, you don't have to like use your money. You don't have to use your money to begin to do research because it's quite expensive to if you want to further for your PhD and all of that. So if people are getting it, then you are also able to get it. So you can look outside for PhD offers and all of that. But to be able to get PhD offers, then you must build yourself. So what I said before, that is not necessarily or it's not compulsory that you have a first class degree, but you must build yourself. You must have those values. You must be able to understand what you are doing, and you must have built yourself. And where can you build yourself is right now while you're in school. So you research on that project that maybe, oh, it could just be, oh, this is generic. We always do diabetic research in this school. You can use FUTA. In some labs, it could be just diabetic research and no paper. We are just doing it. So you yourself, you must stand out. You must ensure that, okay, diabetic research, then how can I make myself stand out in that area? Because this is these are all the things that you put together to put you out there for those opportunities that you want to start looking for. So even while you are in school or while you're a student, then you must start looking out for opportunities abroad, like PhD offers and all of that. And eventually, the whole goal is to actually work with it. So once you know your path that you want to go, if it's the academics or if it's the industry, then you start building yourself to actually stand out in that area. So I think I've come to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. I could give you room for question if the host says there's still time.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you, ma. Thank you for your
thank you, Ma.
presentation, ma.
We
God bless you, ma.
really appreciate you. At least most
Thank
of
you,
our
ma'am.
questions, most of
We're
the question
grateful.
that I thank you. You can also type that up. At least most of the questions that even me I have in mind, most of them are already answered. But still, we still have to give room for others to ask questions. So if any of you have any questions to that, please you can just
Thank you,
type
ma.
it. You can just type
Hello,
it
ma.
out on the
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
hello.
okay, I can hear. Yes, I can hear.
All right. My question, ma. Thank you very much for the topic.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I'm listening.
For those of us who have interest in the academia,
Okay.
um, while we are still in school, how can we get while we are still in school, how best do you advise? Because we know that research goes on in the institution, and most of the time, how can we build our assets? For instance, how can we join publication groups? Is it possible for us to start publishing while we are in our undergraduate days and all that? Is there any provision for it?
Okay.
Did you get it,
So
ma?
yes, I understand
Yeah,
your
that's it.
question. Yes, so it's very, very possible to start publishing from undergraduate days. It's just the information you know. So like while I was an undergrad, all we used to know before is don't move near lecturers and all of this, don't move close to them and then you are far apart, you don't want to, you just go to class, listen to lectures and all of that. That's actually that's wrong. That's a wrong attitude. But that's based on the information that we've also gathered before, that oh, when you move close to lecturers they can fail you, or they may want to start requesting for some things and all of that, so that will limit you. But right now, being enlightened, you should look at your lecturers in whatever school you are in. Look at your Okay, I'll look at the chat box. So look at your lecturers, look at the research interests that resonates greatly with yours. So I'll use for an example, I may use myself, like even going towards grad school, it's all encompassing, be it from an undergrad or grad school and all of that. So if you're an undergrad, the advantage that these Western worlds have is that as an undergrad, they from 100 level they would have paired them to a researcher, that's to a principal investigator, that's a lecturer, that is a researcher. They would have paired them to a researcher. So that helps them to kind of like build even from 100 level and be able to have research publications. But for we, since the system is not like that, you have to get to 500 level or maybe 400 level where you write your where you do your project before you are paired to a researcher. Then you can create such yourself. So how to create that by yourself is by looking at your lecturers. So you must have had various courses. They could take you intermediary metabolism. Sorry, I'm using biochemistry right now because that's what I know majorly. So it could be intermediary metabolism, it could be protein metabolism, protein function and structure, and all of that. It could be infectious diseases. It could be all of those things. So just look at, oh, this lecturer took me this. So let me say, okay, for those in FUTA, probably oh, Professor Akimaladu took me toxicology. Is he a toxicologist? You can go and look at his research. Or maybe you enjoyed that course. Oh, Dr. Aguloye taught me um, intermediary metabolism, glucose metabolism. Is this something I love doing? Do I want to research further into diabetes? Is you look at the justification for that. Oh, how often do people have diabetes? You want to look at that again. If you're about money, also again, you want to look at, oh, how often does people have diabetes, or what
I
kind
don't
of,
know.
can
I
you
did
hear
not
me?
know. I did not know.
Okay. Or what kind of
What
ailments
is that?
like get the public attractions? What kind of, if you talk about cancer now, you know, like gets public attraction. Most people are pumping, even governments pumping money into cancer research right now, because it's actually deadly and all of that, so they want to profile solutions to that. So if you look at your interest, that's why I said know yourself. As a biochemist, do I want to do more of diabetes research, or and all of that? Do I want to do this or do that? So once you know what you want to do and you look at the lecturer that fits in properly, you can walk up to that lecturer. You can walk up to that lecturer. Oh, hello, sir. Hello, ma. Um, a biochemist. I mean, 100 level, it could even be in 100 level, it could be 200 level. I mean, 100 level, and I have interest in this research. I've looked at your profile, I've read your publications. So you must have read your publication. I've read your publications, and these are one way or the other. I feel like I can add to this. So I would love you to be my mentor. I would like you to be a mentor for me. So, right now they've not, you don't have a researcher yet, you don't have a mentor yet, but you yourself just walked up to that person that I would love you to be my mentor. So while you are doing all of that, you must ensure that you actually know how to manage your time, because right now if the person has agreed to mentor you, then that means you'll be appearing in the lab even as a young student, and you still have your academic work to do. So if it could just be like, oh, a day to right, I have like an undergrad student that I'm kind of like, okay, understudying my research. So it could just be once in a week, it could be just maybe a Thursday or a Wednesday. Not like when you are now in your final year and you're doing your project that you have to give in your time to it. So that one could just be like, oh, just set a day where you go to the research laboratory and then
see how things are done in the lab. So by so doing, once you're able to see how things are done in the lab, you are reading their publications, then you now be able to contribute to whatsoever they are doing. So once you are able to contribute to whatsoever they are doing, then you take a part, you have a part even in that research publication. So once they are writing the paper, since you did something since you did something in the you contributed to the research work, then your name will definitely be in that paper. So by so doing, you have started building your career as an academic. I mean, since you want to go into the academics, you started building your career. So as I said again, I can talk more about if you want to go into academics. You already know, oh, you need your second degree. I know FUTA had a retainment plan before, but right now I don't think it's there before. So if probably the school you are in have that retainment plan that, oh, our student that graduates with first class, we retain them, then you must know that, so that is what you are pursuing to ensure that you graduate with this, and then you can already have a basis for your for I mean, you already have a basis for the platform that you actually want to begin to showcase yourself. Since you'll be retained, that will be very easy. But if you will not be retained, you can think outside the box, think outside of your school, then look at how, oh, if I want to apply to this school, what are their requirements? I must have a master's degree. So the next thing after your youth service is to ensure you go for the second degree, which is your master's, and then you must have paper publications. So probably everybody in entry level might not even have paper publication, they might just have master's degree. When you are coming, you already have like 2 to 3 or 4 to 5 publications. You have placed yourself high there. So like, so by so doing, and then once you start developing yourself, you can also write review article. You could just be on a particular disease, reading a lot of papers, and then you write a review articles, and that will help you to actually place yourself up there. Um, did I answer your question? Okay, let me check the. Did I answer the question?
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. Very well answered, ma'am.
You're welcome.
There are some other questions in the chat box.
Yes, I'll look at it right now. Yes, I think so. If you want to ask your question orally, then you can. I have to go back. Oh, let me see. Okay, I think I've seen one. Another question. How are you able to balance your education as a competition chemist and as a lecturer? Oh, okay. So for that, that is easy. I'm actually on study leave. So I'm not, so right now I'm on study leave because I'm not schooling. I'm not doing my research right now in the same school where I lecture. So, but it's very possible, assuming you are okay. Like I did my masters in the same school I was teaching. While I'm on my program, on my master's program, I'm also teaching. So it's just like normal activity. You're teaching and you're working. But since I'm doing it outside, you have the opportunity to go and study. But assuming it's the same school where you want to work, then you can balance that because normally that's your life as an academic. If you're in academics, you are doing also researching and then you're also teaching. So you have research students under you. You yourself, you are researching, you are doing research, and then you are also teaching. So that's why I said if you want to go into academics, then think about juggling the two between researching and then teaching. But if you just want, oh, I just want pure research, I don't want to teach, I don't have flair for teaching, then you go to the research institute or you go to the industry and then you could be like a quality assurance personnel in the industry. I hope I answered that question. That was Oluwade. Okay, thank you for
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the question.
You're
Uh,
welcome. Okay, do you
all
have
right.
another? Okay,
Yes, I do have another question.
okay.
Um, for those of us in biochemistry, it can be very, very hectic and complex. Um, Coming to biochemistry without a foreknowledge of it, for some persons
So I can't
was not
even hear
funny.
you.
Yeah, I said coming into biochemistry without the foreknowledge of what it all entailed. For some of us, it wasn't really funny. But now we found ourselves here, and we have had to struggle and struggle and to just to see that we get out of it or either make a transfer.
Yeah.
The question I want to ask now is, how best will you advise those of us in biochemistry in making sure that we get good grades? Because oftentimes, if we do a study of biochemistry students in Nigeria, you find out that they always make complaints of how complex the concepts are and how they have to struggle, and most of the time the department doesn't even help matters, and their results do not speak well. You are going out, you want to look for opportunities, but the results you have are not just so good, are not just so presentable. How can you advise biochemistry students so that they don't give up in the course in which they found themselves?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So it's very key. That was why I said from the beginning that you must know yourself and know what you actually want. So if you know, oh yes, I want to go out there to not to begin to chase jobs, but I want to make myself actually outstanding. That I make myself so valuable that will change your attitude towards things. Like, okay, the lecturers might be lackadaisical about some things. They may just come to the board and then just speak to themselves, or just give you like an handout or a photocopy materials and all of that. And don't take time to actually those explain those mechanisms and all of that to you. So that lies on you yourself, developing yourself, because after all, you're not going to live the lecturer's life, right? It's your life, so you have to take it so seriously. So there are textbooks available, there are videos. Thank God for this dispensation. There are a lot of things, there are videos that you can watch on YouTube where people, lecturers in the field, will explain concepts very well, well detailed. So there are videos that you can watch, there are textbooks that you yourself can sit with. So you have to devote time. If you don't have that good platform, then you know that you have to devote more time. You will do more than someone that has a very great platform. You will do more. So if it's probably, oh, the person that has a great platform will invest just an hour to it, you will invest even more than 18 hours to getting a concept. It could even be just glycolysis, glycolytic pathway that you want to understand. You want to know how does glucose become glucose 6 phosphate and all of that. It takes you taking time to know. So some lecturers may tell you, I could remember them being a young biochemist then, the glycolytic pathway. They will tell you, you must even include the enzyme. Oh, if you don't include the enzyme, you have failed. The enzymes involved in that enzymatic reaction, you have failed. But then if you are not so good, like for myself, I don't like cramming. I don't like, oh, let me just cram. Okay, glucose 6 phosphate, glucose to glucose 6 phosphate by pyruvate kinase or this and this. I don't like doing that. So you want to spend your time to kind of understand the concept, understand what is happening, how does the enzyme matter. So you just have to spend more time. You just have to spend more time. You have to give it time to be able to understand. So and that goes by you cutting, shedding a lot of other things that you do. You may probably be juggling business and all of that because you have an end goal. Then you have to shed off some of those things that you do in order to be able to get the best of your undergraduate period, because you know that you won't be in school twice, so you have to make the best use of that period, that 5 years or that 4 years that you're in school. So I hope I answered the question. So this is a really spoken then what skills or qualities do you believe are essential for success in a career in life science? Okay, so someone is asking that what are the skills or qualities that I believe are essential for success in a career in life science. So just as I've said, those skills I've said them before. So if you look at it, what do you want? It starts from you. What do you want? Do you just, is your aim, is your goal money? Are you money oriented? If what you want to make is money, then you just look at, oh, where will I go to make this money? So if it's like the refineries, the NNPC and the like, Shell and the likes, what will get me into there? What are the certificates that I need? What are the skills that I need? The skill set that I need to be able to get into that part. So I may not be able to talk much about that. I can only relate it to lecturing or research. So if you know, okay, I want to be a researcher, what are the skill sets that I need? The skill sets, number one skill set is you must be a some people call it lab rats. You must be sleeping in the lab. You must be sleeping in the lab. There's an ant that is raised, so you must be someone that is given to the lab. So I remember when I was writing some of my statement of purpose and all of that, said one of them is that I spend ample time in the lab trying to probe systems. So that is one skill that you need to build, that you must be always in the lab. Then you must be inquisitive, so that's one skill also. You must be inquisitive. I'm someone that is actually inquisitive. I ask high profile question, not just, oh, well, how does paracetamol works? So you have, I think I'm seeing Ajayi. I've forgotten the other name. Raised up his hand for question. You can ask a question while I'm answering that. So those are the skills. Just know what you actually want, and then study the things that you need that will get you there. So some people may say, oh, to be able to get into grad school, you need to have a publication, you need to have this grade, this CGPA, maybe 3.0 CGPA, then you must start working on how to get such CGPA. Then you need to start working on how to get research publication, just as I've said. So you could walk up to someone that you love their research, even in your school. I want you to mentor me, and then you begin to understudy them. From there, you'll be able to have research publication. So those are just few skills. So just go and look at it, that what skills do I need to develop in order to thrive in this area. Okay, so I can ask Lana Jayas. Raise their
Good
hand.
evening, ma'am.
Okay, good evening.
Let people correct am. Dey first.
Oh, okay, I can send it to you,
Yeah.
Tim
Good
Tokwe,
evening.
for the slide. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I have a question, ma'am.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, as an undergraduate, is there a particular level, like an ultimatum to when you have to have picked your career path? Because as for me, at when I check my student handbook, I see a lot of interesting stuff. I read about them, and I feel they will pique my interest. At first, I when we were taught genetics at 200 level, it really piqued my interest, and I was thinking, is this a path I would like to further in and maybe make something out of it? And then later on, we were taught biomass, and it piqued my interest also. So I was thinking, so then it's made a confusion, and I couldn't make a choice then. So I'm thinking, is there a particular level or a time that you have to have made the choice? That's my question, ma'am.
So there's no particular level actually that you have to make the choice. It's just as I said, that for a life sciences you are not restricted. So at this moment you may want to study biomass, you may want to go into biofuel, biodiesel and the likes. Then at this other time it could be metabolic diseases and all that. So there's actually no time. That's, in fact, that's actually even a good skill for a life scientist. That's a good one for a life scientist, because you need to have interest in almost everything. So you need to have interest, but then you look at, in your order of priority, what actually interests you the most. So you can't have equal likeness for everything. So when you do about genetic engineering and all of that, biomass, infectious diseases, metabolic disease, there's one that will beat your interest the most. So just take time and look at yourself. What actually interests you the most in it? What do you actually love doing? Like for myself, I remember I used to love every research tending towards neurosurgery. But right now I'm not even doing anything tending towards the brain. But what I have right now, in probably tomorrow I can just wake up, or I want to use computer to study the brain. I want to actually look at AD. I want to look at Parkinsonism and all of that. But I've gathered what it takes to kind of like, oh, if I wake up tomorrow and say this is it, and then why you shouldn't just box yourself is because what if, oh, you love to study the brain, an opportunity is surfacing in a pancreatic gland or liver or cancer researches and all of that. When you say, oh no, I'm just restricted to, I want to study the brain, I want anything neurology. So you get, so that's why you shouldn't box yourself. So it's actually a good one, but just look at the one that interests you the most. Hope I answered Lana's question. Then Azan
Yes,
Ifedaya,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
okay.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
I'm so happy to have you here, ma.
I'm happy to be around too.
Now, now my question is, okay, let's say, will my project affect my application for grad school? Okay, let's say, um, during my project, I worked on plants, and due to what my supervisor gave me, and my research interest is infectious diseases and public health. Now, will that affect my application for grad school? Let's say I'm trying to apply for a scholarship and all that.
No, it won't affect it. So why I said no
Okay.
is, yes, why I said no is that you must be able to know how to link everything to everything. So like for myself, I before coming for my PhD, I my research was on diabetes. But when I was looking into grad school, I started to look at professors that want to join their lab. So I can't restrict myself and start looking for only professors that are into diabetic research. No. So right now, I said I'm into computational research. What we do is even away from diabetes, away from metabolic diseases and all of that. But you must be able to that skill set that you've gotten while doing the plant research, you must be able to channel it into whatsoever every other person is doing and see how to still satisfy yourself that you are doing what you actually love doing. So plant study could also be linked to toxicology, which could also be linked to infectious diseases that you want to do, because if you're talking about infectious disease, you may talk about antibiotics and all of that. So you can look at plants that can be best antibiotic, plant that can produce best antibiotic. Reason being that I said so because there's a upsurge, there's another pandemic right now, which is antibiotic resistivity by these bacteria and all other small or microorganisms. So you want to look at plant sources that can actually fit in to prevent that resistance that we are looking at. So you want to just try to see how to channel everything that you are doing into what opportunity that is surfacing right now. So just see how to channel it. So there's no way, there will always be a link from one thing to the other. There will definitely be a link. So just see how to bring it together. So that's it.
Wow. Thank you very much, ma.
Yeah, you're welcome. So someone have a question. That's, can a biochemist go for a related course for masters, maybe not biochemistry again? Yeah, sure. You can go for a related course. You can do public health, you can do biology, you can do any other thing entirely from different from biochemistry. Okay, yeah, I think that's, yes. So there's a way to connect. Okay, is there a way to connect with? Yeah, sure. I'll speak with the host on connecting. Because I should be able to, once we are done, I'll speak with the host on how to connect with me and also pass out the slide if, yes, for as many that want the slide. Yeah, there's a way to connect. I'll speak with the host once we are done. So, are there still questions or to hand over to the host? Okay, I have a question also. Okay, yeah, I'm listening. Well, did I answer the question already? I think that's from Azan Ifedayo. I think I already answered. Okay. So if there are no questions, I would like to thank the organizers again for inviting me. It's actually what I love doing. I love to impact to people. So I'm very excited about it. And if there's any other need for me to be up again, I don't mind. It's what I love doing. So it was nice having to spend time with you guys. Yeah, it was really nice. So I love it. I like to impact. So if there's anything you may want, or I mean you may have questions on, either probably like on collaborating to publish publications and all of that, I'm open. I'm open to all of that. I'm open to all of that. Yeah. I'm open to all of that. If you want, if there's any way to collaborate, I'm open to collaborations. All right. Thank you so much. So I'll hand over to the organizers right now. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, man. We really, 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 really appreciate it. We are indeed grateful. At least most of us now we are going on with our questions answered. Thank you so much. And we would like to have more of you. So we hope that when we have another introduce another time if you when we call you, we are going to answer us. So thank you, man. Thank you. Um so what next? So our next um webinar right now, as we know that we'll be having those um webinar every last Saturday of the month. Yes, every last Saturday of the month. So another guest will be coming up again. Now I don't know the topic, so the topic will be communicated to us later. So thank you very much, everybody. We really appreciate you. We thank you for your time, and I hope this is very helpful too. I know we not just waste our time and our data. We are going on with full um this. We are loaded already. So thank you. So Mr. Shego, are you there? Hello.
Good evening, Miss Temitope. I'm here.
Yes, please, do we have any announcements
I think
or
you
other things?
you said it all. That the next webinar will be coming up. The last, it can be the last Saturday or the last Sunday of the coming month. So let's all anticipate. It's going to be another special. Yeah, we'll be having another special webinar. So everybody should be expecting that. So and our weekly activity also continue. So if you are not following our social media platform yet, please do that because we do share engaging posts on our social media platform. So just type SciENCOON on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, then follow us. Uh, I think that's all for now.
All right. Thank you very much. So if you still have any other questions to ask like our speaker, we will send a link to you guys later. So you can call her, you can send her any text message. She will always be there to help us. So thank you everybody. Do have a great night rest.
Yeah, the link to join the SciENCOON general group has been shared in the
Okay.
in chat message, in call messages rather.
Income.
So can just click on the link to join our WhatsApp general group.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everybody.
All right. Good night. Reach more. I cite you. Favor. Good night.
Shege.